JBNN keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones. Before we get into the news, please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and to share the news with someone today. Now onto the news. Man wanted for murder in St. Catherine surrenders at Mandeville Police Station. A man wanted for murder in the St. Catherine South Police Division surrendered to the Manchester Police on Thursday morning. Police named the wanted man as Alonda Gray, otherwise called Platinum. Acting Commanding Officer for Manchester, Deputy Superintendent Lois Daniels, said Gray was on the police's wanted list. Gray was also featured on the Jamaica Constabulary Force's Wanted Wednesday social media post. He handed over himself in the presence of his pastor and father at the Mandeville Police Station, said DSP Daniels. St. Mary wanted man fatally shot by police in St. Andrew. A man who was wanted for murder and escaping custody in St. Mary was fatally shot during a police operation in St. Andrew on Wednesday. The deceased has been identified as Gavin Hurd, 33, of Fort Stoughton and Field, St. Mary. The police team was acting on information that men suspected to be wanted and armed with guns were at 71 Rosalie Avenue, Kingston 11. It is further reported that the police arrived at the location. And entered a property where they saw Hurd. Hurd reportedly pulled a gun and pointed it at them. The police discharged their weapon in the direction of Hurd, hitting him in the upper body. A 9mm pistol with a magazine containing 7 live rounds was taken from him. It was taken to hospital where it was pronounced dead. 2 guns seized in St. Elizabeth. Woman arrested and charged. A woman was arrested and charged after the St. Elizabeth police seized a gun at her home in Balaclava. The police said during a targeted operation on May 24, a house was searched and a multicolored lunch bag was found under the cellar. The police said the bag contained a black and silver Lorison .380 pistol fitted with 1 magazine and 2.380 cartridges. Ingrid Tibb, otherwise called Princess, of Kano District in Balaclava, who resides at the premises, was arrested and later charged with possession of a prohibited weapon and unauthorized possession of ammunition. In the meantime, the police seized a second gun in Banton District in the parish during a joint police-military operation on Wednesday. The police said about 2 p.m. the team responded to information that prohibited weapons may be hidden on a particular plot of open land in the community. The property was located and observed to be populated with fully grown ganja plants. A search of the area ensued, during which the police found and seized a .38 revolver. The police said the weapon was wrapped with black rubber strips and was concealed under the root of a mango tree on the property. Clarendon police renew call for public support in locating serial robber and rapist. The Clarendon police are renewing their call for the public to help them locate a suspected serial robber and rapist after the man reportedly struck again. It is understood the man allegedly committed another rape Wednesday night. The police say that's now 3 rapes linked to the suspect. According to the police, the suspect is linked to 11 robberies in Maypen. It is understood that the man is targeting female-operated establishments. The police issued a call to the public for assistance last week after spraying the parish on May 21. On that night, the police said the suspect committed 4 robberies and 2 rapes. The police say he is considered armed and dangerous. Any information can be passed on to the police emergency at 119, Crime Support 311, or the Maypen Police Station at 876-832-2077. Man killed, 2 others seriously injured in St. Mary crash. A man is dead and 2 others in hospital with serious injuries following a single vehicle crash along the Golden Grove Main Road in St. Mary on Wednesday. The police have not yet released the identity of the 29-year-old man who was a passenger. A police officer assigned to the area to headquarters is among the injured. Reports are that shortly before 6 p.m., the 3 men were traveling in a white 2011 Toyota Markets motor car towards Anota Bay when the driver failed to negotiate a right-hand bend east of the Enfield Main Road junction. The vehicle veered off the left side of the roadway, crashed into a drain, came to a rest in bushes, and is subsequently caught fire. The occupants of the car were transported to the Anota Bay Hospital where one, who suffered multiple fractures and head injuries, was pronounced dead while being treated. The other men also sustained serious injuries, including internal bleeding and multiple fractures. One remains in critical condition and is to be transferred to the Kingston Public Hospital for further treatment. The vehicle was destroyed by the fire. The St. Mary police are urging all motorists to exercise extreme caution when using the roadway, especially along winding and unfamiliar routes. St. Ann man succumbs to injuries 3 months after chopping incident. A St. Ann resident who suffered multiple chop wounds to his head 3 months ago succumbed to his injuries at the St. Ansby Hospital on Wednesday night is Richard Brown, a 58-year-old labourer of Eltham, Ocherius, St. Anne. It was reported that about 2 p.m. on February 27, Brown was attacked and chopped on the head while at his home. He was taken to the St. Ansby Hospital, where he was admitted. The Ocherius Criminal Investigations Branch is probing the matter. Nephew charged for uncle's Labor Day murder in St. Mary. The nephew of a popular mechanic in Gale, St. Mary, was charged on Wednesday for the brutal stabbing death of his uncle on Labor Day. Charged is 24-year-old Ellsworth Gordon, otherwise called Junior, of a Gale Rock address in the community. Gordon was charged after he was interviewed in the presence of his attorney on Wednesday. Police reports are that on Friday, May 23 around 9 p.m., Junior's 9-year-old sister called their father and told him Junior was covered in blood and was holding a knife, and their uncle, 52-year-old Wordsworth Gordon, otherwise known as Max, was lying motionless in the living room. The father proceeded to call his brother's phone and Junior answered. It is alleged that Junior confessed to the stabbing of his uncle. Upon arriving at the house, the father saw his brother's lifeless body on the floor and the knife on a generator on the veranda. He then called the police while he and other residents restrained his son. Junior was taken to the Port Murray Hospital under police guard for medical attention. Sources close to the family said that it is alleged that Junior has been suffering from mental illness. A court date has not been confirmed, and the St. Mary police continue their investigations. Alleged Clansman gang leader Tesha Miller and co-accused to stand trial in January 2026. Alleged leader of the Clansman gang, Tesha Miller, and his 22 co-accused, including Dr. Paul Robinson, are to stand trial in January 2026. The date was confirmed when the men appeared in the Home Circuit Court on Wednesday, but the men are to return to court on July 22 for a plea and case management hearing. There was heightened security presence outside the Home Circuit Court in downtown Kingston on Wednesday as the defendants, except for Dr. Robinson, who is on bail, arrived. During the hearing, the court was told that 3 additional men are to join the defendants, but the prosecutor was unable to provide Justice Vinnie Graham Allen with the names of the alleged gangsters. In the meantime, there was an attempt to settle legal representation for defendant Renanda Hall, as Justice Graham Allen reiterated that the trial will not be stalled. Pointing out that the case has been before the court for a long time, the judge asked Hall if he wanted the court to assist him in getting a lawyer. The judge instructed Attorney John Clark to speak with Hall regarding his legal representation. After consulting with Hall, Clark told the judge that the defendant is requesting additional time to retain a lawyer. Justice Graham Allen declared that the trial will begin on January 7. The matter was subsequently adjourned. It is alleged that between August 5, 2017 and August 22, 2022, the defendants participated in several criminal activities in St. Catherine. They are charged with murder, conspiracy to commit murder, attempted murder, robbery with aggravation, among other offences. Woman murdered in St. Thomas identified. The St. Thomas police are investigating the murder of a 52-year-old domestic worker in Ramble, Seaforth, on Wednesday. Caroline Walker was found with stab wounds at her place of employment at 33 Pearl Road about 8 a.m. The police reported that another domestic worker at the residence spoke with Walker at 7 o'clock that same morning. They say a preliminary investigation suggests that less than an hour later, Walker was attacked by an unknown person and stabbed multiple times. Her body was discovered by the other domestic worker. The police say no clear motive has been established for the killing. Robbery has been ruled out as there were no signs of forced entry and visible valuable items were not touched. Investigators are trying to locate Walker's cell phone. They are expected to question other people employed at the property. Walker has been employed as a helper at the Seaforth residence for over 13 years. Rescind Chung's FID appointment in 72 hours or less, warns PMP. The opposition People's National Party PMP has given the Jamaica Labour Party JLP government 72 hours to rescind the appointment of Dennis Chung as Chief Technical Director of the Financial Investigations Division FID or risk actions across the country. The warning was issued by PMP General Secretary Dr. Dayton Campbell during a press conference at the party's Old Oak Road headquarters in St. Andrew Thursday afternoon.
Ladies and gentlemen, a few years ago, this issue surrounding the reports on the Integrity Commission came to public attention. And initially, we were told that persons are unaware of the individuals who are under investigation. At a press conference that was held at Jamaica House, when a journalist put the question to the Prime Minister as to whether or not he is aware as to why he has not been certified, he said he had no idea why, and he was anxious to be certified. When we eventually saw the report of the investigation into his affairs, we realized that at the time when he made that statement, it was not true, because prior to that, he was written to, and that they had a meeting with him at OPM and his lawyers and explained to him that there is a possibility that he has assets that are out of keeping with his lawful income, what we term illicit enrichment. We saw where the Prime Minister took the matter to court, and he was asking he was trying to mandate the courts to sign off on his report. We saw where Mr. Chung came out and gave his opinion on the matter. It's free to have an opinion on the matter, but by any means, by the acceptable standard as to what the average person would think, an individual that has already come to a conclusion on the matter to be now placed in charge of the body to investigate the matter is highly inappropriate. And anyone who cannot see that as inappropriate, then that begs a lot of questions. The gentleman in question also created a firestorm in Jamaica a few months ago when he said that Usain Bolt money did not get to SSL. And it is the same FIB that needs to look into the issues surrounding SSL. I, as a Jamaican and a well-thinking Jamaican, I am very concerned about the path that we are on as a country. I am a proud Jamaican, but I am ashamed of my government. I am ashamed of this JLP government because they are eroding what we have come to accept as Jamaica. They are destroying the institutions that give us a good, credible reputation internationally. Corruption is rampant. It is almost palpable in the society, and we will not accept it. The time has come. Enough is enough. The people of Jamaica need to be given an opportunity to decide if they want to continue with this level of corruption in high places, or if they want to return decency to Jamaica House. And as of such, we are giving this government 72 hours to rescind this appointment. And if they do not rescind it, there will be actions all over Jamaica. Thank you. The floor is open for your questions. I'm not going to tell you the action, so you can go to the previous slide. Okay, that's fine.
Opposition leader Mark Golding and party spokesman Julian Robinson, Donna Scott Motley, and Peter Bunting all spoke about the inappropriateness of Chung's appointment. They insisted that he was a biased and unfit candidate who lacks the requisite qualifications, while pointing out that he has, on several occasions, publicly come to the defense of the Prime Minister in the wake of damning findings against him by the Integrity Commission in its illicit enrichment probe of the head of government.
The matter of the Integrity Commission report into the statutory declarations filed by the Prime Minister and their investigation of his affairs in relation to, in particular, the offense of illicit enrichment has been of grave national concern to Jamaicans at home and abroad. The Integrity Commission, after their extensive investigation, due to a lack of information forthcoming from the Prime Minister on critical elements of facts that were relevant to the matters that they were investigating, felt it necessary to refer the matter to the Financial Investigations Division and Tax Administration Jamaica for further investigation on different aspects of what had come out in their investigations. It is therefore of critical importance that the Financial Investigations Division, which has been without a chief technical director for some time since the resignation and departure of Selvin Hay, that it be led by somebody who is competent in the kind of issues that the FID is set up to deal with as an investigative agency, and also be not tainted in any manner with any kind of political cloud over it. Whoever the chief technical director of the FID is, must be somebody who's not perceived as having any particular political affiliation or bias. And we feel strongly that the appointment of Dennis Chung is itself an act which will further the corruption in the country, because he is somebody who has already publicly stated positions in relation to the matters that the FID ought to be investigating, which are strongly in favor of the Prime Minister and which seek to undermine or belittle the impact and importance of the findings that the Integrity Commission has made on the matters that they investigated as set out in the report they sent to Parliament. He has commented on the 28 bank accounts operated by the Prime Minister and his companies, on the volume of funds that have flowed through those accounts over the period of the investigation in excess of $470 million, on the issue to do with the Positive Jamaica, a non-profit foundation that receives monies for worthy causes donated from local and overseas contributors. Those funds being used to purchase financial investments in the name of and for the benefit of Mr. Holness's personal companies. On each of these matters, he publicly sought to take a position that's led to the impression that there was nothing amiss, there's no case to answer, everything is above board. Even the nil returns filed by companies that had bank accounts with hundreds of millions of dollars passing through them, he said there was nothing peculiar about that. Nil tax returns. He clearly is a biased person on this matter. He clearly would have a conflict leading the FID to investigate this matter. And that is why we're saying he should resign that position if he's accepted it, or the appointment should be rescinded and revoked forthwith. It is too vital to Jamaica's democracy and the rule of law in our country that what will be the most important and significant investigation by the FID in its history should not be led by somebody who has taken a position on key issues that are the substance of that investigation, positions which are in favor of the Prime Minister, as opposed to positions which the FID ought to be investigating in a non-biased, non-partisan way, based on what the findings of the Integrity Commission were already on those matters. And that is why we thought it necessary to call this press conference today to state for the record that we are totally opposed to this appointment, that we feel that this appointment is itself a corrupt act because it's furthering what we believe is going to be an attempted cover-up of this matter, and that we are calling upon Jamaica to ensure that this does not go any further. And at this point, I'm going to hand over to my colleagues who will go into different.
JBN will keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.